Good evening, and welcome to the Town Board meeting for the Town of Ossining, May 13th, 2014. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Wilshire?
Present.
Councilmember Harder?
Present.
Councilmember Jeffrey?
Present.
And Supervisor Dudley.
Present.
Do we have any announcements this
We
evening?
do. We'd like to draw your attention to either the web page this weekend or or if you get our supervisor updates, because we're going to be we have a few things to talk about that are great things that are going on in Ossining. What a wonderful year 2013 was for the town of Ossining. We accomplished so much, watched every penny, and the results show it. It could not have happened without the support and hard work of every employee of the town, each Teamster, office staff person, CSEA, department heads, including all of those who are a part of our team through intermunicipal agreements. And the administration and the town board deserve credit for this accomplishment. No one department stands out, but rather everyone working together. We have brought the town of Ossining to the place we can be proud as usual. Our fund balance amounts unallocated and available for use can be found on the web page as of tomorrow. For one example is that we will be using the increase in fund balance for our 20 fund, the town outside the village, which we call the unincorporated area, to pay off the callable police department bonds. The callable bonds totaling more than the $1,475,000 we received for the building, and with the amount we can redeem being close to, will bring our overage, our fund balance to what it was in 2012, which is great, because that means that 2013, all the fund balance extra that we had for 2013, we'll be using to finish up paying off that callable bond. This will result in our fund balance, or our rainy day fund, being at the total of 2012, which has been steadily increasing since 2009. We will have the final spreadsheet as to how we pay off the bonds associated with 507 North State Road, the former police station, as soon as we close on the bond redemption. We are currently in a period of alerting the bondholders of our intent to redeem the bonds, and should have the process done by the middle of June. We have been able to increase staff in our Parks Department by one full-time employee in 2013 and continue that person in 2014 and beyond. We keep our staff levels at the same level in all the other departments, with the exception of having one floating clerk between the tax receiver's office and the assessor's office. That used to be a deputy tax receiver. This allows us to schedule the employee in each department when it is the busiest for that department. As we move into the reassessment of every property in the town of Ossining, this will be very helpful in the assessor's office as we make sure all our records are updated, as well as the exemptions are completed. We are looking for interns, high school and college students, who have an interest in learning how municipalities work, and while we learn to implement our new grant program. If you know anyone that's interested, please have them send their resume to Maddie at mzachacz@townofossining.com. Our proposed annexation, it's your right to know, of District 17 and 20 in Briarcliff Manor. The town of Ossining has chosen its law firm. The town of Ossining has chosen the law firm of Zarin and Steinmetz. The village of Briarcliff Manor has chosen the law firm of Wormser, Kiley, Galiff, and Jacobs. The town will establish two budget lines for the charges. 50% will be applied to town general, and 50% will go to the unincorporated. We received notification from the appellate court giving us a case number of 2014-04282, and the two law firms have agreed on the following. The town's responsive papers to Zarin and from Zarin and Steinmetz shall be filed no later than May 30th, 2014, with copies delivered to Wormser, Kiley, Galiff, and Jacobs by noon of the 30th as well. Wormser, Kiley, Galiff, and Jacobs will have until June 9th to file any reply papers with a return date of June 10th. That's what we know about the proposed annexation that's now in the appellate court. The Town of Ossining revitalization, our commitment to you, fairness, equality, and transparency. And as we continue, the public information schedule continues on. This evening, the team is at the Ossining Board of Education. On the 15th, we'll be at the Congregations of the Sons of Israel at 7 p.m. On June 9th, they'll be at Scarborough Glen at 7 p.m. On June 11th, they'll be at Eagle Bay at 7:30 p.m. On June 14th, we'll be at the Village Fair all day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And on June 16th at 8 p.m., they'll be at the Briarcliff Board of Education. On June 19th at 7:30, there will be a Briarcliff Public Info at the Briarcliff Middle School. And on June 27th, at 12 noon, they'll be at the Briarcliff Rotary. The mailing for the first neighborhoods to be inspected will go out in the next 2 weeks, so watch your mail. And what I would suggest is that at that point, after those meetings are done, we will start on an update meetings, because the kickoff meetings, we believe that everybody's either seen it on the web page or come to one of those meetings, so we're pretty excited about getting that done. Other than that, the June 14th is the Village Fair. It's coming up. We have a lot of activities around Memorial Day, which we'll talk about later, but there's always there's a whole bunch of different things. There's a Memorial Day parade on actually Memorial Day. So that's what we have so far. Any other updates or any happenings in town?
I can't think of any, but can I just clarify really quickly? The 1720 case number is 2014-04282. And the town needs to respond to Briarcliff. I know you used the firm names, but I was having trouble following it. The town has to respond to Briarcliff by May 30th, and Briarcliff has to reply to the town if they choose by June 9th.
Right.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Just for everybody who wasn't following all the names.
Well, it's also on the webpage. So.
Okay.
Okay. Anything
Okay.
else, Madam Clerk?
Do we have any public comments on any of the agenda items?
It will be at the end of the meeting. Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to board resolutions. Resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby approves the April 22nd, 2014 minutes of the regular meeting as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I think I need to.
Right. Councilman Harder will be abstaining.
Thank you. Resolved the town board of the town of Ossining hereby approves the April 29th, 2014 minutes of the special meeting as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby approves the voucher detail report dated May 13th, 2014, in the amount of $381,470.35.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved the town board of the town of Ossining hereby appoints Dominic Costello Ossining to the seasonal position of laborer in the town parks department effective May 12th, 2014, at a rate of $12 per hour. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board of the town of Ossining hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign a renewal contract with CSCA Employee Benefits Fund for the employee vision benefits for January 2014 through December 2017, in accordance with the rates in their memo dated April 11th, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Whereas the town of Ossining is required to collect town, county, and school taxes for the municipality, with the onus on the town to make whole the county and the school district for any uncollected taxes. And whereas the receiver of taxes has been approached by a property owner requesting a short-term payment plan for the following property: tax parcel designation 97.11-4-49, and whereas the town board, pursuant to Article 5 of the Ossining Town Code, as authorized by Section 1184 of the New York Real Property Tax Law, before entry of a final judgment, may withdraw a parcel for this or with payment of real property taxes is delinquent from a foreclosure proceeding, and enter into an installment plan for payment of all delinquent taxes, as well as interest and penalties, and does occasionally grant such a plan, and has the discretion to accept or reject any proposal by a residential or commercial property owner, providing the owner meets the eligibility requirements set forth in Section 180-17 of the Town Code, and the payment plan conforms to the requirements for such a repayment plan set forth in Section 180-18 of the Town Code. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby grants the aforementioned payment plan, which terms comply with the Town Code, for this property owner, who has been determined to be eligible, with the understanding that this sets no precedent going forward for this or any other property in the future. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Draw a parcel for which payment of real property taxes. This is correct. This is correct
Okay.
for the record.
Now, do I have a motion?
So moved.
As amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Be it resolved that upon recommendation of the town supervisor and the town board hereby ratifies and approves the stipulation of agreement regarding John Martin, excuse me, and the carryover of 2013 vacation time to July 2014 in the town and local 456 International Brotherhood of Teamsters, Chauffeurs, Warehousemen, and Helpers of America, AFL-CIO, effective May 13th, 2014. And be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute the stipulation on the town's behalf. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Correspondence to be received and filed. Resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby accepts the following meeting minutes. Town Planning Board meeting minutes, January 8th, 2004. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Quick question. Just the time lag, is that a normal amount of time lag?
Yes, because if they, as long as, when they cancel meetings, they have to approve the minutes before they can be,
Oh, I see, and they had
before they can be,
distributed.
Yeah.
Okay,
so, because they've canceled a lot of meetings in the wintertime, so.
okay.
Monthly reports. Resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby accepts the following monthly reports for the month of April 2014 from Town Clerk's Office, Town Building Department, Town Supervisor's Office, GE Helicopter Report, and Tax Receiver's Monthly Report. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Can I just, I have not seen a GE helicopter report. Did I miss that somewhere?
It's just the times that they land, the GE helicopter. We'll make sure that,
Okay. I'm just not going to vote, well, how should I vote then? Just
it's
whatever?
only accepting the report, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Into visitor recognition. Is there anyone who's come to address the board?
That's you. You have to go real up to the mic, I apologize.
Oh, I'm
And
here.
your name and
Oh,
address.
I'm Jackie Sadler Reichman, so I'm the daughter of Arthur Sadler. And I'm here because there aren't very many opportunities for us who live in these small towns to feel like, you know, these towns are listening to what's going on and dealing with problems with compassion and interest. I mean, I just heard you say something like, it's not a precedent, but we're allowing somebody to do something. And that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about a situation that is so unusual, so out of the ordinary. And, we would like to know, we're not talking about not paying a tax. He has paid his local tax every single year. He paid the tax as soon as he was able. He fell and broke his neck. He was completely paralyzed. And my mother was dealing with getting him from Florida to here in that 2-week period. As soon as they got back from Florida and he was at Burke Rehabilitation, she paid the tax and the penalty. And she paid the penalty because she felt like if she didn't, then she'd be assessed more penalty. So, it wasn't like she just paid the penalty because she thought it was okay, but she felt like she had to stop the clock running. But it just seems so unfair for them to assess a penalty when he's not saying that he won't pay the tax, and he's always paid the tax. But to add,
I just want to clarify one point that you made, and then I'm going to let the attorney
yes,
talk
because
to
you know the details.
Well, I just want to make it clear that in this payment plan that we had, the person has to pay all the penalties and all the interest too. So just because you get a payment plan, the clock doesn't stop either. So as you're paying all the penalties. The other thing is, I just want to say before I let Mr. Spector talk, is that we aren't. The tax receiver's office is not allowed to accept it accept money from anyone unless it's the full payment, including any penalties that have. I understand that you think it's cold, but there is quite a few other people that come to our office all the time about not paying their taxes on time. I understand this is a unique situation for your family, but Wayne, do you want to take it from there? Just let Wayne talk first,
Okay.
please.
There isn't a tremendous amount to say other than the fact that over the years, and as I've been sitting in this seat, I've witnessed, and I believe Mr. Harder and Mr. Wilshire have as well, because they've been sitting in those seats for many years, more so than I have. Many instances. We have about 10,000 tax parcels.
10-1.
Over
10,100.
Over
yeah.
10,000 parcels, tax parcels, and taxes that are received through the tax office several times per year, with the school taxes and the town taxes, and the law requires that the penalty be imposed as of the first day. And that's the problem. And the town board has a very, very, very restricted and limited ability to waive the penalties. And there are a number of reasons why, over the years, the policy, which has been discussed numerous times, and in situations oftentimes as unique or as from a personal standpoint, compelling, as you can imagine, that people have come before this board over the years, and the board has tried to be fair over the years in terms of how they treat these requests, and they have many times looked at them and developed an internal policy of only granting this type of relief in situations where the late payment is as a result of an instance or matter that was within the control of the town, such as a failure to update an address record or something similar to that, or failure to properly maintain a record within the town so that the bill didn't go to the right location, things that are within the town's purview or control. And the board has adhered to that policy over the years, despite the fact that, I know that personally, from listening to the members of the board address these situations, there's always compassion. But the problem is that it's not so much a situation of setting precedents as the situation of being fair to everybody, because if you refuse one person, if you grant it to another person, who's to say that one person's situation is that much more dire than another person's? And it becomes a matter of putting discretion before a board, and the problem with discretion is that it also opens the situation of the board up to accusation of a possible abuse. where you have people who come before the board, oftentimes they may know somebody, or they may feel they may have some influence in some way. So by adhering to a strict policy that the board has done, what they're really doing is protecting everybody.
Yeah.
And I know that it doesn't seem that way, but that's the purpose of sort of just adhering to a very strict, basically no.
I understand. I completely understand what you're talking about. But I also, at the same time, understand how you could have a policy of never. I'm talking.
That's not what I said. I said the
Oh,
board
you
does
said-
give
No,
exceptions.
you said the only exceptions were when the fault was on the town's.
That's correct.
I'm saying an exception on, I mean, when you're dealing with human beings, happen. And this is a town where you're dealing with human beings, and it's a tax law that has to be paid for the good of the school district. Nobody's disagreeing with. But when it has to do with a personal action, and that human being can't do that action, to ever make an exception. I mean, I understand that it leaves you vulnerable to people saying that you abuse your power if you allow some people and not other people, but at the same time, it seems like an abuse of power when you don't allow any exception for something as clearly just.
I want you to know that we are, I know when people come to boards, they think that people aren't people. We are people. And I cannot say that I understand, because I haven't been through what you have been through as a daughter, or what your father has been through in this situation, but I can absolutely empathize. But what Mr. Spector is saying as our attorney and the attorney for the town is, if we get to this place with a situation that was as serious and difficult as yours, there are other situations that could be.
Yes.
Or may not be, and it becomes a situation where we are put in a situation where we have to then decide, well, does this rise to that level? Does that not rise to the level? And we don't have that right now. We have a situation where we have decided that going through and past, we don't put ourselves that way, because it does become the opposite problem. Then we have people coming saying, but how about me, and how about this, and it opens it up.
I do understand that, but at the same time, I feel like that's your job as being in local government, to deal with the hard cases, and it's our job as being community members to feel like the community should be there in situations like this, and not just treat you like a number. Well, other.
You need to come up to the mic and identify yourself.
James Sadler. I'm Martha Sadler's son. I don't know if you read the article, and everybody's obviously privy to the situation. The question I wanted to know, was there actually a vote on this board whether or not to return this money to Dr. Sadler?
There was a discussion and an agreement amongst the board members, yes.
So it is within your power to waive this fee.
Well, it's again, you weren't here when Mr. Spector was explaining it to everyone, but it was a situation, we cannot, the way we're looking at
Don't say
it.
you cannot, because you can, so.
Okay, so why don't you give your comment, and then we can,
Well, the other question I have is, how come you told me that it would be waived?
Well, I didn't. I said I had to go to the board so I have to go to my board. I'm one person on a board of 5. We have
Supervisor
one
of the
gentleman, not
town.
me. And also, I was under the impression, and I was wrongly under the impression, that the accident was even much earlier in the month than it was. If it was on January, you read the article that you guys, we did not put that article in the paper, so if it was January 27th, the taxes were due January 31st.
What difference does that make? But what difference does that make?
Well, it makes a difference that you had the bill since September too, but that's,
But he's never missed a payment ever.
and again, so has 95% of the rest of the.
I don't care about 99%.
I understand that you don't, but we do, and
Yeah, I'd like to clarify one point, which has been stated. The payment is actually due the first of the month. It's a courtesy that you can pay by the end of the month, but it's not due by the 31st. It's due the bill. If you look at the bill, they're always due the first
it's
of
the
the month.
last day you can pay it.
That's the last day as a courtesy that you can pay it. That's correct.
I don't think we're really discussing dates here. I mean, it's not the date, it's the humanity of the situation.
Well, also, if I may, the issuance of the bill is a courtesy, as our tax receiver has told us several times. It's, sort of the responsibility of the homeowner to have an idea of when those taxes are due.
Well, again, that's not why we're here. We're here about the humanity of the situation. The situation is that he always pays his bills, he always pays his taxes, he's a law-abiding citizen, he had a horrific accident, and it should be your board's decision. You should get together and be humane and give him his money back. He paid his taxes. This is $700 of found money to you people, okay? It's not, you can roll your eyes all you want.
I'm not rolling my eyes, sir.
Okay,
I'm just.
I also
I'm
have
just.
a recording that said that you would take care of it. Would you like to hear it?
No, I said we would look in. I would
No,
bring it to the board.
No, would you like to hear it?
And I was wrong. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm the first to admit when I'm wrong. I had to bring it to this board. Okay.
No, you were wrong.
Okay. Thank you.
And I think the board is wrong.
Okay. That again is your opinion, and you can. That's what you can do. Okay. I don't know what else you want us to say.
I want you to say that you'll think about it and have another vote. You've waived taxes before. You waived
No.
fees before.
We have never waived.
Oh, no?
Have
Here
we-
we go again.
Have we
You're going to
waived?
look me dead in the face and say you've never waived a fee.
I've explained the circumstances that the penalties have been waived in the past, and this
Okay,
goes
well,
back.
she just said that they haven't been waived.
And if you were here before, you would have heard my
I know,
explanation.
I know they've been
Excuse me,
waived.
sir. Excuse me, sir. I, in this board, have never waived a fee on any tax bill, whether it was someone coming back from Afghanistan, somebody coming a horrific accident, or anything. We have not waived any fees. So I'm sorry that you think that.
Spoke to the tax collector today, and she said that there has been cases.
The cases, as I explained, the policy of the board ever since I've been the
You're saying
town.
there's no cases. You're saying there are cases.
No.
Excuse
I
me.
said this board.
I'd like you to let me
this
finish
board.
because I'll tell you, I'll answer your question if you let me finish. The circumstances, this board has never waived a fee. This board has not, since the supervisor has been the supervisor. The situations in the past, and they've been extraordinarily rare, have been situations where the mistake was made on the part of the town, such as the failure of the town when it should have updated an address record or some other record and didn't properly send the bill out when it should have to a proper location. That has maybe happened, and Jeff, maybe once or twice over the last 10 years, perhaps?
One.
As a child, I was brought up to believe that one should never trust anyone who says never or always. That's an artificial designation. There is no such thing as never. There is always a positive side. Now, I find it unconscionable and difficult to believe that this board will reach a decision without deliberation or thought, but rather will reach a decision based upon what the rule is and what has been done in the past, no matter what the cause, no matter what the circumstance. It must be very easy for you to make decisions like that because they're all the same. You never waive a fee. Don't have to think about it. You don't have to consider the possibilities, the human possibilities. I mean, I am a citizen of this town, and I have paid my taxes regularly and on time. This time, if you would like me to go through it again, I will, but it's probably unnecessary. My calendar indicated that I was to pay my tax approximately 6 days after this horrific accident. Needless to say, I never got a chance to look at my calendar. Now, if you want to penalize me for that, I guess it's in your power to do it. But I believe that is unconscionable, heartless, without caring. I can't believe that you are that hard-hearted, that you would not consider this case for the significance that it holds for me as a citizen.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
I have a motion to adjourn to executive session for legal advice.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at our work session next Tuesday night at 16 Croton Avenue. No, sir, I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm closing the meeting. I'm closing the meeting. I was actually looking at the camera. I have to look at the camera. Yes. So we'll see. Anyone that wants to watch it on public access television. Okay. Thank you. So have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday again at the work session at 16 Croton Avenue at 7:30 p.m.